He framed the Constitution of India. Correct answer is option D, Constituent Assembly. On which date was the Constitution of India adopted? Correct answer is option C, November 26, 1949. How much time did it take to frame the Constitution of India? Correct answer is option B, 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. Who was elected as the permanent president of the Constituent Assembly of India? Correct answer is option A, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Who was the temporary president of the Constituent Assembly of India? Correct answer is option C, Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. Who was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option B, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The first meeting of the Constituent Assembly of India was held on. Correct answer is option C, December 9, 1946. In which language was the original Constitution of India enacted? Correct answer is option D, English. How many articles were there originally in the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option B, 395. How many schedules were there originally in the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option B, 8. Who is known as the father of the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option C, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The concept of fundamental rights was primarily inspired and borrowed from which country's constitution? Correct answer is option D, United States of America. Which country's constitution inspired the directive principles of state policy in the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option B, Ireland. The preamble of the Indian Constitution was inspired by the constitution of which country? Correct answer is option B, United States of America. How many fundamental rights are currently provided in the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option B, 6. The right to property was removed from the list of fundamental rights by which Constitutional Amendment Act? Correct answer is option B, Act 44th Constitutional Amendment. The provision relating to freedom of trade, commerce and intercourse in the Indian Constitution was borrowed from which country's constitution? Correct answer is option C, Australia. The idea of fundamental duties has been borrowed from the constitution of. Correct answer is option C, Soviet Union. The method of election of the President of India has been borrowed from the constitution of. Correct answer is option A, Ireland. Judicial review has been borrowed from the constitution of. Correct answer is option D, United States of America. The provision for suspension of fundamental rights during a national emergency in the Indian Constitution was borrowed from which country's constitution? Correct answer is option C, Germany. Which amendment to the Indian Constitution introduced the Goods and Services Tax? Correct answer is option C, 101st Amendment. How is India described in Article 1 of the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option D, Union of States. Which part of the Indian Constitution contains the Union List, State List and Concurrent List? Correct answer is option C, 7th Schedule. Which amendment of the Constitution is known as the Mini Constitution of India? Correct answer is option B, 42nd Amendment. The 73rd and 74th Amendments to the Indian Constitution are related to. Correct answer is option D, Panchayati Raj and urban local bodies. Which article of the Indian Constitution abolishes untouchability? Correct answer is option C, Article 17. The Supreme Court of India was established under which article of the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option A, Article 124. Which amendment lowered the voting age from 21 to 18 years? Correct answer is option A, Act 61st Constitutional Amendment. From which country's constitution was the provision of single citizenship in the Indian Constitution borrowed? Correct answer is option D, United Kingdom. Which article of the Indian Constitution provides for the right to education as a fundamental right? Correct answer is option C, Article 21A. Under which article of the Indian Constitution is the power to amend the Constitution provided? Correct answer is option C, Article 368. Which part of the Indian Constitution deals with fundamental rights? Correct answer is option B, Part 3. The concept of welfare state is reflected in which part of the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option C, Part 4, Directive Principles of State Policy. Which article of the Indian Constitution provides for the right to equality before the law? Correct answer is option A, Article 14. Which schedule of the Indian Constitution deals with the allocation of seats in the Rajya Sabha? Correct answer is option B, 4th Schedule. The anti-defection law is mentioned in which schedule of the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option B, 10th Schedule. Which article empowers the President to declare a national emergency? Correct answer is option A, Article 352. President's rule in a state is imposed under which article of the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option B, Article 356. The Finance Commission is constituted under which article of the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option D, Article 280. Part 4A of the Indian Constitution deals with. Correct answer is option B, Fundamental Duties. Which article of the Indian Constitution abolishes titles except military and academic distinctions? Correct answer is option C, Article 18. The Supreme Court of India can issue writs under which article of the Constitution? Correct answer is option B, Article 32. High courts have the power to issue writs under which article of the Indian Constitution? Correct answer is option B, Article 226. Which schedule of the Indian Constitution contains the list of languages recognized by the Constitution? Correct answer is option D, 10th Schedule. The power of Parliament to form new states or alter boundaries is given under. Correct answer is option C, Article 3. Which article of the Indian Constitution defines the state for the purpose of fundamental rights? Correct answer is option A, Article 12. Which constitutional amendment made education a fundamental right in India? Correct answer is option C, 86th Amendment Act 2002. Which article of the Indian Constitution provides for the protection of the interests of minorities? Correct answer is option A, Article 29. The Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution in the world because of. Correct answer is option D, all of the above. Subscribe for more GK videos. Thanks for watching.